Great. So this is a yin-yang class. If you've heard those words, you might hear them called yin-yang. But yin and yang refer to the feminine energy and the masculine energy. They're not gender words, they're energy words. So we're going to stick with our yang style after our warm-up, where we're going a little bit faster, a little bit warmer. And then towards the end, we're going to get into the stretchier, juicier, feminine stuff where we can actually build some flexibility. So if you feel like the Tin Man, that's okay. we're gonna work on that. If you have something to sit up on, especially new folks that are maybe new to yoga, I don't have really open hips, so for me to sit on the ground, it makes me curl my spine and not super comfortable on the low back. If you have something you can stick underneath you, it could be a block, it could be a pillow. Go ahead and find something like that. And we'll spend the next 2 minutes just grounding down, getting centered. And so a nice, gentle, quick, easy way to come into our bodies is to start to loosen up the muscles of your belly. We're not going to stay super soft for the whole practice, but it's important that we do it right now. So softening the belly, letting go of all those muscles that have been so strong, supporting our back. Thank you, thank you. Let the belly soften. And if this is the first deep breath you're getting to take, savor it. Big breath in, maybe reaching the shoulders towards your ears. Sinking the shoulders, sighing it out. We'll take a couple of those. Big breath in. One more deep breath like that. Oh, that feels so good. We're going to stay where we are. We're going to work on stretching that exhalation. So we'll breathe in together through the nose. And then 2 options on the exhale. You can breathe through the nose or you can blow out a birthday candle. Inhaling deeply. And that birthday candle breath is as if I'm sipping through a straw. As I purse my lips, my breath has to slow down. Let's take a couple more breaths like that. One more time. That's beautiful. Check in with your body. Make sure that the shoulders are still nice and relaxed. Ooh, we're going to get to these shoulders in a minute. But as we start to move through the body, we'll start super gentle, lifting and lowering the chin. Think about the chin going north and going south. How does your neck feel today? Take the chin side to side, east, west. And then starting to let that movement spread through the shoulders, taking a couple of big rolls. So often we'll start with shoulder rolls. That's kind of our go-to movement here. But if you want to use your arms as if they were simple antennae, just for the purpose of really appreciating what the shoulders are able to do, go ahead and move the arms. Again, those thumbnails are way too small for me to be able to see you. So it's still pretty anonymous. I like to try and see if I can move my shoulders in a way that they've never been moved before. Hasn't happened yet, but a girl can dream. Take a couple more movements through those shoulders. Really take an opportunity to appreciate them. Anyone else get really sticky in the traps? Oh, that's my spot. These things hanging from my door are yoga therapy balls, by the way. If all is well with the shoulders, let them come to stillness. We can drop the hands onto the lap and we'll start to move the spine, circling around. So my rib cage is rotating over my hips. Letting the crickles and the crackles out. Maybe the hips are crackling right now. Where are you feeling this in your body? I tend to feel this a lot in like the low back and the hip crest area. Take a moment. If you haven't switched directions, go ahead and switch. Spine is like a long soup spoon. So I am of Italian descent. I'm stirring the gravy in the pot. You might be stirring the chicken noodle soup or gumbo, whatever is right to you. And if all is well, come back to stillness, reach that spine nice and tall. We're going to move a little bit more. If you've been sitting on something, stick it out of the way. We don't need it right now. And we'll come to hands and knees. This would be a good time if you have a blanket or if you're working on a mat, you might need a little extra cushion. So go ahead, make your body comfortable. Anything that we do in yoga class, we think of it as an investment. We want to invest in doing small things now that'll pay big rewards. So I'm working on my nervous system as I breathe, and I'm also cushioning my knees just because I like myself. I want them to continue to work. Palms of the hands find the ground, and I'll start to inhale my crown and my tail feather nice and high. On my exhale, I'm lifting my belly. I'll curl my spine. Think about a cat when it gets upset. Nice yoga class imagery. Inhale, bring the crown and the tail high. Exhale, curling the back. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. And take a couple more of these. Just move at your own pace. If you like breathing at the same tempo that I've been going, awesome, keep it going. If you need something else, do something else. At the end of the day, this is your yoga practice. I just come up with some ideas. Nice work. We're going to sit back toward our heels. I'm taking a seated position. If your butt doesn't reach your heels, grab something to sit on, or just sit crisscross applesauce. I'll turn to face you. I'm just sitting normally. I'm going to take some side bends now. My right fingertips find the earth. And as I inhale, my left arm reaches high over my head. I'll continue that movement, tilting at my waist, making the left side of my body nice and long. Another big inhale, we'll reach it all the way back, willow tree, sweeping it over in the other direction. Other fingertips land on the earth. Other side of the body gets nice and long. Beautiful. Back where we came from, right fingertips find the ground, left side of the body gets long, long. Big inhale up, big exhale over. We'll go one more time. Big swish, willow tree in the wind. And we'll even out the body up over. This is the achy place on me. Check in, see what your body's saying. Inhale, we'll bring the spine straight. If you're sitting on something, scoot out of the way. We're coming down onto the ground. We're coming through spinal rotation next. So this is my right leg. If you prefer to mirror me, just worry about the image. Doesn't matter what I'm saying. I'm going to bend my right leg. I'll step it over my left. And I'm going to turn towards this knee. So I'm inhaling my spine nice and tall. And as I exhale, I'm going to move by cinching my waist and turning my ribs to the side. My ribs close off the gap between my knee. Once I've gone as far as I can, I might take the top back part of the arm, hook it in on the outside of the knee. My inhale, my spine gets taller. My exhales are a choice point. I can go deeper or I can stay where I'm at. One more big breath here. At the bottom of your exhale, gently unwind. Back to neutral, uncross the legs, same shape other side. I bend my left knee, I step it over right. Inhale, spine is tall. Exhale, I'm cinching the waist, I'm turning my ribs. When I've gone as far as I can, I'll hook in. Big breath in to reach through the spine. Exhale's choice point. Do I want more? One more big breath in. As I find the bottom of my exhale, I'll unwind back to center. Let the legs go. Press the legs out behind you. We're going to move through a sequence in yoga called our vinyasa flow. Vinyasa is a style of yoga where we flow with the breath. In the context that I'm using it, it's 4 shapes. One that looks like a giant upside down triangle. We know that is downward dog. Then into plank. Then into something that looks like a tricep push-up. And then a back bend. We'll do them together. My palms press the ground, the balls of my feet find the earth, and I'll lift my hips toward the sky, almost like a big upside down triangle. This is my downward dog. Notice how I soften my neck. So we are warming up the body here. You might choose to pedal out the calves. And your neck stays nice and long and soft. Mine's turned because I'm speaking. But keep the neck nice and soft. And on your exhale, float it forward. Come to meet us in your plank. We'll hang out here for a moment. Let some warmth generate through the body. Now, of course, you know your body better than I can on the other side of the screen. If you need to modify by lowering the knees, go for it. But we're staying here. Pull the waistline together as if the lowest ribs are knitting into your hip crests, pulling everything in. Oh, feels so good. On an exhale, I land the knees, my heart shines forward. Slow motion, I scrape my elbows against my rib cage all the way onto the ground. This is like your push-up. And on an exhale, I peel away from the earth. Nice little back bound. If you've taken yoga, you might call this cobra. Exhale, back to your downward dog. Take that left leg, reach it high. Maybe even pointing the toes. Bend the knee. Give your little hiney a couple kicks. I don't know if it'll turn up in the audio, but that's my knee clicking. That's my body, huh? On an exhale, land that foot on the ground. We'll shift forward into plank. Hold here. We'll come through our knees, heart, and nose next again. If you prefer this movement, keep it. Next time around, we're going to go with progressions. Exhaling, I land the knees, Heart shines forward, elbows tuck in and scrape my ribs. Inhaling, I find my back bend. My neck stays nice and long. I like to imagine that I have a unicorn horn and I want to point it straight out forward. On an exhale, tuck the feet, reach it up into your downward dog. If downward dog is not working for you, hands and knees, or child's pose, sitting on your little heels. But if downward dog is working for you, take that right leg up, woo, hinge at the knee, couple little butt kicks. Keep that neck nice and soft and long, nothing to look at. Landing that right foot on the ground, come to meet me in your plank. If you want something that's a little bit more challenging, we'll come through chaturanga. It's like that tricep push-up, but with straight legs. I'll roll onto the tips of my toes, my elbows hinge, 90 degrees. I push my feet back a couple inches, and I'll roll through. Notice how my hips are off of the ground. This is your upward facing dog. We always have the option to sink and soften and let the hips rest on the ground. With an exhale, take it back to your downward dog or making a choice for child's pose or hands and knees. We'll take 3 breaths in whichever shape you prefer. Nice work. We'll come through our progression one more time. If you enjoyed the first time around, keep doing what works best for your body. I'll press my hips skyward, downward dog. And my exhale brings me back into my plank. I'll choose the movement that I want more, rolling onto the tips of the toes, hinging at the elbows, pressing the feet back 2 inches, rolling it through, or simply coming through my knees, heart, and nose, and landing in my cobra. You guys are doing great. Take your toes, flip them, hips are high. And then taking a walk or taking a hop so that your feet come up by your hands. I will always choose a nice long walk. When your feet arrive at the top of your mat, take a big inhale, fingertips meet the shins, paralleling the chest with the earth. On an exhale, chest meets thighs, fold the knees, roll it up. Big inhale, I sweep the arms up over my head. And as I breathe out, I dive back down toward the earth. Another inhale for half lift. Fingertips find my shins again. And this time I'm moving into my chair pose. I'll shift my hips back as if I'm reaching my hiney out for a chair that's just a little bit too far away. Press your hips back. Similar to our squat. So if you know your squat movement, look down at your knees, make sure they're still behind your toes. In a perfect world, we'd stack them right over the ankle, definitely behind the toes. If all is well, you can bring the arms up. Notice how the upper back muscles become engaged as I lift the arms. Or if that's more than I want today, palms at your chest. We're going to take a couple breaths here. We are building heat here. You're doing awesome. We're going to tap this left leg back, pick it up, tap the back of your mat, and bring it back together. Same thing, other leg, right leg taps back, bring it together. We're playing a game now. 4 more. Left foot back, together. Right foot back, together. One more time, each side. Together. Right. Together. Great work. On an exhale, my chest meets my thighs, melting down over the legs. Relaxing a moment here. You can keep the knees soft. And we'll step back with the left leg. Come to meet us in a right side lunge. Looks like this. Nice work. Option to soften this back knee onto the ground. On an exhale, my palms press the ground. Step it all the way back to your plank. Knees, heart and nose, or chaturanga onto the earth. Exhale for your downward dog. We're going to rainbow the left leg. I'm making a circle with it. I'll lift my leg out to the side like a dog at a fire hydrant. Nice imagery for yoga class. Lift it up to the sky. Continue the circle until the left foot taps the outside of the right heel. Up and over, back where it came from. We'll take 3 total. Out to the side, skyward, all the way around. Tap the foot. Woo. One more time, out and around. Circle it through. Back where it came from. Nice job. Take that left leg all the way into the air. If you're able to swing it through, come into your left side lunge. If you're like, nah, not for me, take the knees down and just step that left leg forward. Whew. We're in our lunge on the other side than what we first initiated. Take a couple breaths here. If you sunk the back knee down, go ahead and do that. One more big inhale. And on a big exhale, my back foot is stepping to the front. My legs meet. Little inhale into half lift, spine is long. On my exhale, my chest meets my thighs. I'll roll it back up to standing. Keep the neck, keep the back nice and soft. Beautiful. On an inhale, I'll take the arms over the head. Big, slow exploration of the space around you. Exhale, dive it down. We'll make the same shapes, but the opposite way. On an inhale, come into half lift. Fingertips can come to the shins. On an exhale, you know where we're going. Press the hips back, find your chair. Oh boy, I almost forgot about this. I'll turn to face you. So for my chair, I'm pressing the hips back. My chair is way too far away from me, but that's good for my knees. I'm pressing my hips back, and as I do, my knees stay behind my toes. Take another gaze down. Make sure that the knees are traveling along the same trajectory as your toes. I'll sink my butt down a little further if my knees will allow it. And I'm pushing down through my feet. We're going to explore the element of tractioning. So push your feet down into your yoga mat, pull them apart, almost as if you're trying to do an incredible Hulk tear of your yoga mat, splitting it down the center. Pull the feet apart. Notice how the outside of the hips wake up. We're almost done. Make yourself strong. You can reach the arms up if you like to. One more breath. And we're gonna let it go melt onto the thighs. This time the right foot steps to the back of the mat. Meet us in your left side lunge. We're keeping these lunges nice and low. If you want to drop that back knee, go ahead. We're coming through the last parts of our vinyasa flow next. My palms will frame my foot. I'll step back to my plank. Choosing the movements that work best for my body. I'm going to choose to modify. I need a little relax at this point in class. Meeting us back in your downward dog. So again, sometimes downward dog is actual downward dog. Sometimes it's child's pose. Sometimes it's hands and knees. Doing the one that works best for you. We're going to rainbow that right leg, the other leg that we haven't done yet. So as I find my downward dog, I'm lifting my left leg out to the side dog, a fire hydrant, heel to the sky, circling it around until it taps the outside of my left heel, back where it came from. Big circles. Out, up, around, back where it came from. We're doing 3, so this is our last one. Lift the leg side, sky, around, all the way back. And then lift it straight up into the air. If you're able to swing that leg through and place it between the hands, go ahead. If you're like, nope, lower the knee, step it through. We're on the other side lunge from where we started. So this is your right side lunge now. Option to keep that back knee away from the ground. Sink and settle. Taking a couple of silent breaths here, just to notice sensations in your own body. Great job. Really, really nice. On an exhale, this back leg steps up to meet the front leg. Come and meet me in your standing fold at the top of your mat. We're going to spend a couple of moments here. So continue to sink and soften. You have the option of bending the knees. I'm feeling pretty stretchy at this point in class, but if I have my blocks nearby, I might even choose to grab them and make myself more comfortable as I hang now that the earth is a little bit closer to me. On an inhale, we'll meet in half lift. And I'm going to come through a little bit of a spinal rotation next. I'm bending my left leg. I'll keep one of my blocks. As my left leg bends, I'll press my palm of my right hand onto the earth. On my exhale, I'll pull back my left arm as if I'm about to shoot a bow and arrow. I'll let my chest rotate toward my bent left knee. If I have the shoulder flexibility, I can extend the arm. I do not have the shoulder flexibility, so I'm going to take that hand on my low back. Little twist here. Little stretch of the leg. One of the beautiful gifts of yoga is that there's sometimes silent time. Use those silent moments to just notice what your body feels. On an exhale, we'll unwind, letting the left hand find the earth, getting the kinks out of the legs. We'll do the same shape on the other side. If you use a block for support, move that block over, bending the opposite knee. This time I'll bend my right knee. My left hand has my block. And as if I were shooting a bow and arrow with the other arm, drawing it back, letting the chest rotate. Option to extend the arm or to place that hand on the low back. On an exhale, gently releasing that shape. Two options. The first option, if you have iffy kind of hips, come and meet me in butterfly. If your hips are pretty okay and they're pretty open, come to meet me in yogi squat. So I'm not practicing with a mat, I'm practicing with a blanket. From my fold, I'll heel toe my feet away from one another. Heels of my feet will stay on my mat, roughly that width. My toes will be out to the sides, and I'll start to come down through squat. Respect your body, respect your knees in this. And if you're able to lower down, come to sit down as if you were a catcher behind the plate. Check in with the hips, be honest with your body. If this doesn't work for you, come here to your butterfly and hinge forward. But if you're here with me in the slow squat, go ahead, settle in. I prefer to stick a block under me. I call it the lazy outfielder. Slow your breath down. So whether you're in this low squat or in your butterfly, this is a vulnerable pose. If you're alone in your room, it's still a vulnerable pose. So be really gentle with your body. We'll take a couple of silent moments if you want to close the eyes. Just take a notice of where you might be holding tension. And so even though we're making it a quasi goal to let go of tension and stretch in this class, respect your body's boundaries. If your chest is saying, I'm not ready to open up that muscle yet, that's okay. If your hips are saying something similar, that's okay. We are where we are. We'll respect that. 2 more breaths here. One more breath here. And if you're in your low squat, start to hover the hips away from the earth, giving them plenty of space as we move down onto the ground. My friends that have been in their butterfly, wonderful job. We're going to revisit butterfly in just a moment. But first, we're taking the legs wide. So this is a straddle. This is what my straddle looks like. Yours, you might need a blanket underneath you to lift the hips up. I'll grab my blocks. I like to have some propping to bring the earth up closer to me. I'll stick them on level 1, the lowest. And once I find my straddle, I'm going to find the place where I'm able to find a groin stretch. Here's my inhale, my spine reaches tall. And on my exhale, my heart reaches out. I'll keep my spine nice and long. And now once I find that place where my body is asking me to slow down and to stop, I will respect my own body. Maybe right now you're noticing that the spine wants to curl and soften. Go ahead and let that happen, but don't press further into your stretch. So entering that place where our body asks us to stop is a way of building trust. It's a way of staying in our own integrity. And we'll find that as we stay here, as we relax, as we offer respect for ourselves, we have the option, after we've built some trust, to maybe go a little bit deeper. So if you've been enjoying those breaths in and those slow breaths out, check in with your body and ask if it will consent to going more deeply into your shape. We have silence here. That's our opportunity to turn the awareness inward. Look for sensations in the body. Look for discomforts. Notice as you find this stretch, if there are any other places in the body that seem unrelated that are feeling tension right now. A common place would be the jaw. Another common place would be the chest muscles. Beautiful work. On an exhale, we'll start to paw the earth, fingers find the ground, and just like a cat would start to knead the ground, walking your way back up out of your shape. I'll stick my blocks off to the side. And I'll fold up the knees and draw the legs together. Take a moment. If there are kinks to get out, let them out. And if you are one of my butterfly people, well done, you're already well prepared for our visitation of butterfly. Sealing the soles of the feet together. If you're finding in your body that this is already a stretch, stick your blocks under your legs. Give yourself some propping here. Sometimes a stretch is going to be looking like we're seated doing nothing, and that's okay. If you have a little bit more experience or a little bit more flexibility, we'll take the hands and wrap them around the outside of the ankles. I'll lift my spine tall, and I'll start to fold it forward. As I fold forward, my elbows bend. I can take this sharp part of my elbow and stick it in the softer part of my inner knee. There's a little bit of a fat mound there. See if you can find it. Giving the weight of your body onto your legs. I need some stretch. And so this shape is really interesting to me because I feel it on the outside of my hips, that place that was burning when we were in chair pose. Notice where you feel it. Do you feel your hips? Do you feel your groin? Do you feel your low back? Extra points if you feel all three. Take a couple silent breaths here. The gift of yoga is a silence to go in and experience yourself. Again, check in with the jaw, with the chest muscles. Check in with the traps and see if anyone's clinging on to tension. often just noticing is enough to make a shift. Beautiful work. On an exhale, we'll start to walk the spine back up to neutral, pawing the ground like a cat. And over the next couple moments, we'll start to make our way down onto our mats. We still have some more shapes coming. Start to lie back. So as I lie onto my back, my soles of my feet are on the ground. My knees are pointing straight up toward the sky, and my back is resting. As I make my way here, I'll flex both feet. I'll pull my knees close to my heart. And I like this shape because it feels like a little massage on my lower back. I'll let the sole of my right foot find the ground. And I'll reach through my left heel. In a perfect world, I'd be able to straighten my leg, doing what your body tells you to do. If it's comfortable, you can take the hands, interlacing the fingers behind the top back part of the leg where your hamstring is. Finding a little hamstring stretch here. And whichever leg is in the air for you, picking up your hips, scoot them 2 inches in the direction of that straight leg. So I have my left leg straight. I'll pick my hips up 2 inches over toward my left. I'll bend that straightened leg and I'll come into my spinal rotation, my left knee crisscrossing my body. Oh. If I have crickles and crackles in my spine, I'll find them. If you're crackling and popping, that's okay. And for me, my right leg is on the ground. If I want to add on to this stretch, I'll press that right leg back. I'll bend the knee. And my left hand finds my right ankle. I might give myself a little quad stretch here. I'll give you a slightly different angle. One more breath here, slow and deep. Letting go of the ankle, drawing both knees together, and shifting back onto your back. Maybe a little swish of the knees, windshield wiper. Flexing up the feet, both knees pull toward the chest. Little back massage. Lowering the sole of the left foot onto the ground. I might take that right leg straight. Whew. Finding a stretch for the top back part of the leg. Maybe even using my hands to draw my leg closer. And then with my right leg extended, using whichever leg you have extended, I'll pick my hips up, shifting them 2 inches toward the side of my right leg, toward the straightened leg. I'll fold the knee, and I'll come into my spinal rotation, my right knee crisscrossing the body, the knee that was on top crisscrossing the body. Softening through the shoulders. The option being the lower leg, pressing back, folding at the knee, my right arm reaching for the ankle. Staying here for 3 more breaths. Releasing the right hand from the left ankle, draw the knees together, and then letting the feet drag themselves back to neutral. Pelvis lands on the ground. Maybe taking a swish side to side of the knees, windshield wipering them. Option to flex the feet, drawing both knees close to the chest. Low back massage one more time. Enjoying this low back massage. And in a moment, the next shape that we'll do together is going to be our rest. So now we're at the end of our class together. We'll enjoy a final rest. And this shape can look like a lot of different things. You can lie flat on your back if that feels good to you. If you have some lower back woes, like I sometimes do, I might stick a pillow underneath my knees for some propping. Or if you don't want to take any chances, you can keep those knees pointed up at the sky. So if you're in your lower back massage, let the soles of the feet find the earth. Option to stay in your rest with your knees bent toward the sky. Or to straighten the legs. Even having the option to stick the pillow under your head or under your knees. Looks like this. And this is your time to relax. So choose whichever shape will allow you to relax to the best of your ability. And I'll be speaking to you, so I'll be seated upright. Finding your relaxation. Check in with all of the points along the back of your body that are also in contact with the ground. Here we find a sense of peace and of softness. Heels are on the earth. My pelvis is anchored down. My upper back and my shoulders are at rest. Even the back of my head is cradled on my mat. I feel my whole body supported. The earth has got my back. I feel safe. I feel grounded. I feel secure. I feel safe. I feel grounded. I feel secure. And right at this moment, I am healthy. At this moment, I am well. And right at this moment, every need that I have is already met. Here in this moment, I am well. Here in this moment, I am healthy. Here in this moment, every need that I have is already met. Softness in the belly, softness in the hips, softness in the chest, softness in the jaw, and slowly and gently begin to deepen your breath. Bring your awareness back to the tips of the fingers and down into the toes. Finding movement, finding vitality. And in your own time, gently rolling onto either side of your body. As you find your side recline, you might choose to tuck your knees closer to your chest. Or you might choose to extend your grounded arm long against the earth to make a pillow for your head. And with the palm of your top hand, gently press that palm onto the earth and shift your way into a comfortable upright seat. Taking your time as you move and being gentle with your body. And as we seal in the benefits of our practice together, I'll invite you to seal your palms together, gently taking your thumbs into your heart and bowing your neck, acknowledging your beautiful body, your brilliant mind, and your radiant spirit. If you'd like to, you can join me in using the common greeting of Namaste to close our class. Namaste. Thank you so much for being here, friends. This class would be so boring without you. So much love to you.